In lesson 17, we're working with estimating quotients using basic math. Okay, in B, when you're estimating quotients, the first thing you do is round your divisor. Now the divisor here is 23, so we want it to either be 20 or 30. So this here would be closer to 20. Now when it comes to your dividend, I always like to get rid of that 1's place value. So we have basic math facts now. And we know we're multiplying and dividing by 0, so I can take the zeros off. And that leaves me with 2 and 61. So 61 divided by 2, a compatible number is a number that 2 is a multiple of. And I know that the two compatible numbers around 61 would be 60 and 62. And I would go with 60 because that there is a multiple we can do in our head very easily. So 60 divided by 2 would be 30. So we know that 617 divided by 23 would be approximately 30. Now we're coming to D. Now once again, 52, it's going to be closer to 50 divided by, and I'm going to go to 480. That allows me to take the zeros off. Now I've got 48 divided by 5, and I can see that the closest multiple would be 50 divided by 5, which gives us 10. So we know this would be approximately 10. 48, it's going to be closer to 50 divided by 530 because I got rid of the 1's place. And when I take off the zeros, I know I'm divided by 5, and 53 is going to be closer to 55. So 55 divided by 5 would be 11. Under F, 73 is closer to 70 divided by 140. I take off the zeros, and I can see 14 is already a compatible number. So 14 divided by 7 would give us 2. On the next one, this is closer to 80 divided by 470. Take off our zeros, and I can see I'm going to have 8, and the closest would be 480. Excuse me, 48. 48 divided by 8 would be 6. The next one, 99, is closer to 100. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Divided by, and I can see right off the bat on this one without taking it, the closest would be 600. And I could take the 2 zeros off on both sides, and 6 divided by 1 would be 6. So 600 divided by 100 would be 6. Under J, you can see 26 would be closer to 30. And hopefully by now you're starting to see that we're not really worried about this first digit. So that'd be 300 is closer to. And so 300 divided by 30, we can take the 10s off to make it easier. 30 divided by 3 would be 10. The next one we have is 80 and 720. And we can take the zeros off, and 72 divided by 8 would be 9. Under next one, we have rounded to 30 divided by 63, or 630 divided by 30. Take off our 10s, and I can see the most compatible one, easiest one, would be 60 divided by 3, which is going to give us 20. The next one, 89 is close to 90, and a compatible number here, I have 830. So take off my zeros. I know that 9 times 9 is 81. So I would do, 81. When we took our zeros off, 81 divided by 9 would be 9. Going to our next one, 72 is closer to 70 divided by 340. take our zeros off, and we can see the closest multiple would be 35 divided by 7, which would be 5. Our last one, 11 is closer to 10 divided by 550. Take our zeros off, and we can see 55 divided by 1 is going to be 55. Ms. Johnson spent $611 buying lunch for 78 students. If all the lunches cost the same, about how much money did she spend at lunch? So the about is telling us we're estimating, and basically with a tape diagram, it's showing the total amount was $611, and it shows that 78 students, and we're looking for how much was for each student about. So we know 611 divided by 78. We're going to round 78 to 80, and I like taking that 0 in there so I can cross them off, because that leaves me with 61 divided by 8, and I know the multiples of 8. 8 times 7 would be 56. 8 times 8 would be 64. So it means 64, and 61 is where we're at, so 64 would be closer. So 64 divided by 8 equals 8. So each one would be approximately $8. $8 each.